guys, what's going on? Blossom's back, and welcome back to another episode of Top Drives. And we are back, boys, with a really special episode. We are back with the tier lists, baby. I've done a couple tier list videos before, a long time ago, like a year ago, where I tier listed the American Dream cars, where I tier listed all my epics in the game at the time. And today, we're gonna be tier listing all my legendary prize cars as of March the 2nd, 2021. We're gonna see one of the cars that I love the most and the cars that I just absolutely trash on. So let me show you the ranks from top to bottom, right? So first things first, the highest rank, these are the cars that are, my favorites. These are the ones that I use the most. These are the cars that I've learned to respect, that have won me, I don't know, a prelims or a qualifiers, won me a carbon, or maybe just a regular ceramic event, okay? These are the cars that takes names, and that is going to be under rank my number one. All right, these are my number ones. These are the A team, the starters. Okay, next one under my number one. Now this is also still a really good rank. Okay, is bruh, you respectable. All right, these are cars that are just like, all right, you respectable. All right, like you can be the A team sometimes, but sometimes I might bench you because there's some other cars that are just slightly better than you. You know what I mean? But that's a respectable rank. Okay, that's like an A minus. All right, and my number one is like an A. All right, next one is I see you. I see you. These are prize cars with potential. These are prize cars with potential. They can win me things. Maybe if I maybe if I 1-2-1 it, or 1-2-2 it, or something like that. These are cars that can win me things, and these are cars that I need on maybe like a regular basis, but not all the time, okay? These are cars that I use once in a while, but I don't need to use all the time, but they're still good, and when I use them, they get the job done, all right? So that's still a good rank. Under I see you, we got, nah, man. You sus though, alright? These are the cars where, this is kind of like where we're getting to, yeah, I don't need to use you that much. Sometimes I use you just because, all the other prize cars I had were servicing, and this is kind of just like, yeah, I'll probably use you like, 10% of the time, that kind of thing. Like, there's still going to be a use for it, but you kind of sus, I second guess, it's like, when I put that car in my hand, I'm just like, should I use that car or should I use something else instead? You know what I mean? And then under that, the next rank is Chief. This ain't it. Okay, these are cars that I barely use. All right, these are cars that I still use a little bit. Okay, like 1%. Maybe I use like 5 races every 2 weeks or something. Like, I still use them. I still remember that I have them in my garage, but they are no way near A team, all right, or B team, or even C team, maybe D team, okay? And then after Chief, this ain't it, we got the hot garbage. These are the cars that they're so bad that they're still stock, basically. I'm never going to use them. And then last but not least, the worst rank. Some people are gonna be mad at me, but it's called Project 8. Now, I want to give you a disclaimer, okay? Because I know Reese and Mbong, they gonna watch it. I know Reese and Mbong, they want the Project 8. I love the Project 8 in real life. And also, the Project 8 in the game, although it's hot garbage, it's not as bad as the cars that I will actually put in hot garbage, if that makes sense. But I'm putting Project 8 at the bottom because at this point, it's a meme, man. Like, if I could give that car away for free for a giveaway, I would. The Project 8 is just a huge disappointment. But anyway, here are all my prize cards. I think I got like 28 or something like that. So let's get into it. I'm gonna start off with the Porsche 918. Okay. Woo, this one! Oh, it's starting off spicy. Everyone's probably gonna think, oh, Porsche 918. That's for sure my number one. No, I don't think so. Porsche 918. I'm gonna put it in, brother. You're respectable. You respectable, okay? Now, hear me out. If it comes to a G-force, if it comes to a slalom, and you gotta think about it this way, okay? The 918, I got one upgrade in it. So if it wasn't for that one upgrade, it would be, I think, 2398 or something like that. Now, when it comes to a slalom or a G-force, I'd rather honestly use the Zonda Revolution, okay? And the Zonda Revolution is lighter than the 918 as well. And let's say I gave my Zonda Revolution the same upgrade as I did with the 918. My 918 is 112. If I 112 my Zonda Revolution, I guarantee you that Zonda is going to be the 918 on all occasions. And that's the same thing. If I play clubs, if I play events where, maybe it's open recs or maybe it's like 2010 requirements or something like that, if I'm using the 918 and I see someone out there with a Zonda Revolution, I'm just like, oh, I'm screwed. I can't beat that. I can't beat that in my 918, even with an upgraded. So yeah, it's respectable. Okay, the 918 is still an amazing machine. It's still like one of my favorite Porsches of all time. But like when you see my number ones, I just can't justify it anymore. Like honestly, like even when I make an amazing hand in clubs, the 918 isn't my first pick anymore. I like to go with the Chiron Sport. I like to go with the Senna. I like to go with the Revolution, and I like to go with Blossig. But Blossig's out of the picture. All right, Blossig in a prize car. But we got Blossig 101, so we'll get into that later. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like I said, at the end of the video, I might change a little positions here and there. But for now, 918, you're respectable, bro. But you're just shy of number one in my opinion. Next thing is going to be the PP, the Suzuki Pikes Peak, baby. That's my number one. That's my number one for sure. Okay, you got that 0 to 60. First of all, that's lower than a 918. The 0 to 60. Okay, you four-wheel drive. You all-surface tires. You handle like a beast. That thing is insane. I use it all the time. Okay, and also it helps with the fact that this is my best Japanese car. I mean, it's the best Japanese car in the game in terms of RQ, but also it's the best Japanese car in my garage. My Japanese garage isn't too strong in top drives. I'm gonna be real with you. It ain't too strong. And having that Pikes Peak has saved me so many times. Whenever there's road less taken in clubs, you know, I slap, okay? It's like MVP. And also, in the short life that I've had the PP, I've only had the PP for, I think, less than 6 months. I don't know when it came out. I got it on the third time rerun, I guess. The rerun. It's already won me a couple prelims and qualifiers. I think, what year is it? I can't remember, but it won me a carbon fiber. It won me a carbon fiber for something. Multiple occasions, actually. So, that's my number one, you know? And there's no other car better than the Pikes Peak. There's no better all-surface tire car in the game. It has to be. It is the number one. All right, next up is the Bugatti Veyron 16.4. Yo, Chief, this ain't it. This ain't it. I am forced to use that Bugatti. I am forced to use it because whenever there's, you know, high RQ French events where I can use theoretically 5 Bugattis, I will have to use it because I don't have any other Bugattis. The thing is, if I had more Chirons or even more Veyron SS's, you damn well know that I'm gonna be kicking this out. Okay, now a lot of the time in clubs, the RQ is kind of like, you know, 405, 390, you know, and it's perfect for running 3 Bugattis and 2 commons, or, you know, 3 Bugattis and like 2 Twizzys or something like that, okay? So I have the perfect amount of 3 Bugattis right now. I got a Chiron Sport, I got a Veyron SS, and I got the Grand Sport. I guarantee you, if I pulled another Veyron, or if I pulled a Chiron, I will never use the Grand Sport ever again. The only reason why I'm using it now so often is because I'm forced to use it, okay? Once I get another Veyron or a Chiron, this thing is gonna be irrelevant. It's gonna be 100% irrelevant. To be fair though, it has won me, I think, 1 carbon fiber from a prelim or qualifiers. That being said though, I'm using it out of my, I'm being forced to use it, all right? If I had a choice, if I had the better cars, I would never use that again. So honestly, Chief, that ain't it. That ain't it. That's like one of the weakest Bugattis too. Like it ain't it, man. I don't like it. All right, next thing is the Huracan Performante. Now this one, a lot of people are going to be shocked because I actually shared this list with the boys in my Discord server, and I was like, all right, I want you guys to rate this for me, okay? And you know, a lot of them put the Huracan Performante in the lower ranks. I can see that. I know why, but the Huracan Performante, I swear to God, I use this thing so much more than you think, okay? First of all, this thing has won me several carbon fibers. It has also won me the titanium pack, which is the reason why I have it slightly upgraded. It's 121, okay? So it's 2596. Usually I think it's 2695. So I have a slight upgrade in it for the titanium, but it won me the titanium pack, won me a bunch of carbon fibers, and of course Italian events show up in clubs all the time. Now I gotta be clear with you. I need to tell you how I'm ranking these, okay? I'm ranking these by how often I use them and how much they have won for me, okay? That's the priority, all right? I might love the 918 in real life, but I'm not judging this out of like a personal like taste kind of thing. I'm judging them on how useful and how much they have delivered for me in the game, okay? And that Huracan has delivered a lot. I use that thing so much. I think I got like 5,000 races on that already, and that car is only slightly over a year old. That thing is kind of like my dark horse. I love this. I put it up with the Pagani BC, Huara BC, as well as the Revolution. Whenever there's like an Italian event, that is always gonna be my A team. All right, but the main reason why I'm not putting it in number one is because, you know, at the end of the day, there are just cars that are just slightly better than that. Like if it came game in a general sense, if I ripped out that Italian requirement, that wouldn't be my 18. But if I put in the Italian requirement, any day, it would be my 18 for sure. All right, next up is the Aventador Svj. Aventador Svj, not gonna lie, bro, it kind of sus. All right, it kind of sus. If I put in one upgrade into it, like I did with the Huracan Performante, then it would be 2495 or something like that. I think, yeah, it would be 2495 at 121. Then, you know, it wouldn't be too bad. Maybe it would be I see you. But unlike the Huracan Performante, the SVJ just hasn't won me the green yet. It hasn't won me the goods. I haven't used the SVJ much. I use it in clubs all the time, but like at the same time, it's always going to be in the shadow of my Huracan Performante. That thing is my favorite Lamborghini in my garage, okay? So the Aventador SVJ, I love it in real life. I love the Aventador SVJ in real life, but in the game, it just kind of sus, man. It just kind of sus. All right, next up is the Senna. The Senna, 100%, my number one. My number one. All right, for the longest time, ever since I won the Senna back in September of 2020, I have wanted to max this thing, okay? This thing has been on my list to max for the longest time. I want to max the Senna, I want to max the Vulcan, and I want to max the Viper Gtsr. Those are like the 3 prize cars I want to max, and the Alpha Pro car, and the Zonda Revolution as well. I got a long list. But the Senna, that's my number one. I use it so often. You know, rear-wheel drive events and clubs all the time. UK events, clubs all the time. 2010 events all the time. This is like that I love this car so much. It's at 111 and I already love it, so I can't imagine maxing this out and having it maxed. It will be insane. The Senna is amazing. It has it all. Low 0 to 60, incredibly high handling, and amazing MRA, and it's light. This thing is a beast, and of course I don't have the P1 GTR. If I had the P1 GTR, then yeah, I'll probably put the Senna in respectable and the P1 GTR in my number one. But I don't have the P1 GTR, so because of that, the Senna is my number one, because it's the best McLaren that I have. It's the best British car that I have, and I love that thing to death. All right, next up is the Koenigsegg 1.1. I see you. The Koenigsegg 1.1 is good, okay? The Koenigsegg 1.1 is good. But the thing is, right, I only deploy it when I see a test bowl. When I see a test bowl, oh, we're gonna have a good day. We're gonna have a good day because I'm just gonna be like, I'm gonna win. You got a shoe on sport? Oh, that's cute. I got a 1.1. He's gonna run circles around you. You know what I mean? But the problem with the fact with the 1.1 is that I can't put it in respectable or number one because I only use it in the test bowl or if I see a 1 mile or maybe a half mile. You know what I mean? If I see anything twisty, you know, the 1.1 has no legs compared to the competition, okay? When it comes to the twisty stuff, yeah, you know I want to go with the Senna. And the Senna can also hold its own in the drags. You know what I mean? So I feel like the Senna is just a slightly more capable car than the Koenigsegg 1.1. If I max out the Koenigsegg, you know, if I put in a couple of fuses in the handling, max out the handling so it hits I think 104 or something like that, then yeah, it would be an absolutely amazing car. But at 1.1, the way I have it, you know, I see you. You are right. I use you a lot, but just not as much as the other 4 cars that I put above you so far. You know what I mean? All right, next up is the Zonda Revolution. Yo, straight up. My number one. I love this thing so much, okay? The Zonda Revolution is the perfect example of my number one because before I won this car, it was just kind of like, to me. You know, my favorite Pagani of all time is the Gt1 Roadster, which I still don't have. But, you know, the Zonda Revolution, it never really caught my eye. I was just like, oh yeah, it's just a really cool prize car. If I get it, I get it. If I don't get it, I don't get it. You know what I mean? Then I won it. Then I started using it a little bit. Then I started using it a little bit more. And now I use it all the goddamn time. I'm using it right now. This is Italian dailies and clubs. I'm using the Revolution. I'm using the Huracan Performante. This thing is my number one in clubs. As long as it's dry, I use it. I use it everywhere. Anything that has a turn, even a fast circuit, and even a quarter mile. Now, I know the MRA isn't the best on it, but when you think about it, it's kind of like the opposite of the 1.1. You know, the 1.1 I only use on like 2 or 3 track sets, but the Revolution I use on all track sets besides the 2 or 3 track sets, which is test bowl, 1 mile and a half mile. Everything else, man, as long as it's dry, that thing slaps. I am such a fan of the Revolution. I want to max that thing out. In fact, it actually even beats the Senna in some tracks. I have to compare them, but I saw some comparison. I think the Revolution beats it on like indoor karting and G-force and something like that. But it's goddamn good. That thing ain't no joke. All right, I gotta speed it up now because I feel like this video is gonna be really long if I keep talking like this. All right. So Urus is great. Is respectable. You know, all surface tire beast, but like I said, it's always gonna be second to the Pikes Peak. Vulcan. I would say I see you. You know, it's a great little twisty car, but I don't know. It is respectable. I feel like it's not an ICU car. I think it's respectable. Yeah, I'm gonna move it up. Yeah, I do use it a lot. You know, it's kind of like my second fiddle to the Senna. You know, whenever the Senna is always out, I always put the Vulcan. I don't usually put the Vulcan and the Senna in the same hand all the time because you know you gotta get that squad depth, that rotation in clubs. You know, so maybe you know Senna is the A team. When the Senna's out of service, I put in the Vulcan for the B team. You know, that kind of stuff. It holds its own. It's just a slightly worse Senna in that sense, but I'm still huge on the Vulcan. Yeah, you know what? It would have been disrespectful to put it in ICU. I think it's a respectable car. Next up is the Moby Dick. Now this one is definitely an ICU. Okay, it's decent. You know, it has amazing MRA, incredibly low 0 to 60, but that handling, man, that handling kind of weak. Okay, that handling kind of weak when you compare it to like the cars like the Revolution and the Senna. You know, it can't compare. And you know, here's another thing why I think the 918 should stay in bruh you respectable instead of my number one, because the 935 actually beats the 918 on some track sets, and I think the 962 even beats the 918 on some track sets. So it's kind of like, you know, it's kind of a little bit of a disappointment. You know, I feel like that car shouldn't be 100 RQ. I don't think the 918 should be 100 RQ. I think the 918 should be like 98 or 99, something like that. 100? Nah. I think it's overrated. I think it's that four-wheel drive is like overrating the RQ too much. All right, next up is the Huracan BC. Huracan BC, I see. You alright. You hold your own. You're a slightly worse version of the Revolution, okay? Like, I use the BC for the drags, for the test bowl, for the 1 mile, when it comes to the Italian stuff, when I can't use the Koenigsegg 101. But, like, if there's anything else, like I said, it's just a worse version of the Revolution. I'm putting it in ICU. Next up is the short tail. This one kind of sus. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people love the F1 short tail, but I'm gonna be real with you, okay? The F1 Gtsr short tail kind of sus. I never use it. The 0 to 60 is just too weak. I'm sorry, it's just too weak. 2.8 0 to 60 compared to all the cars above. 2.5, 2.3, 2.3, 2.5, 2.32, 2.5. The 2.8 ain't cutting it. All right, I know 98 handling is high, but when you look above, we got 101, we got 100, we got 99, 102. It just ain't enough. I barely use it. Like I said, when it comes to the UK prize cars, it's always Vulcan Senna. I barely use the short tail. I'm gonna put it in, you know, it kind of sus. Next up is the Gtsr Club Sport. Chief, that ain't it. It ain't it. It's just not, you know, it's a bit of a disappointment. It's just a worse 1-1, and the 1-1 is a worse Chiron Sport. I mean, okay, that would be doing 1-1 a little bit of disjustice, because the 1-1 will beat the Chiron Sport on the test bowl, you know what I mean, but not on a 1 mile fast circuit, half mile, or a quarter. But, you know, the Roof Gtsr Club Sport is a bit of a disappointment. Sometimes I even forget that it's in my garage, and it hasn't even won me a lot. I don't think it has even won me like a carbon fiber and like a prelims or a quals or a carbon fiber standalone event or anything like that. It's a bit of a disappointment, so definitely, Chief, it ain't it. I still get a little bit of use out of it, but definitely not a lot. Moving on is the Pro Car. My number one. Pro Car is my number one. Look, so many people are sleeping on this. Like I said, you know, people on my Patreon, they were judging how they would judge my prize cars, and a lot of them put the Pro Car way down below. Yo, don't sleep on the Pro Car, okay? Because 1.90 to 60 is incredibly light. I know the handling isn't the best, but you gotta think about its niches as well. This thing is the best goddamn saloon car in the game. It will send your M5s and your M5s delimited to Gapplebees. It will send the Project 8 to hell. I mean, it's already in hell at the bottom of the list, but like, yo, that thing, anything dry, that thing is amazing. You know, my Italian hand is literally just Revolution, Pro Car, Performante, BC, and then sometimes I use the SVJ or sometimes I use the Urus. It depends if there's a city street or not. You know, like currently my daily hand, because it's Italian times 5, is Urus, Performante, BC, Pro Car, and Revolution. That's 5 cars. Boom. But yeah, yo, Pro Car, beautiful. Absolutely insane. Alright, next up is the Viper GTSR. Viper GTSR is respectable, okay? It's my best American legendary because your boy, I don't have the SCG. It came twice, I missed out twice because the Rex for the SCG were absolute trash. The first one was French and the second one was convertibles. Literally my 2 weakest. Well, actually convertibles aren't even weak anymore because I pulled those 2 Aventador S. But still, I digress. At the time, I mean, I was super weak in convertibles, and of course French. You know me, I hate French, so I couldn't get the SCG. So without the SCG, I don't have the new Ford GT either. The Viper Gtsr is my best American car. It's definitely ain't no like my number one, but it's definitely respectable. You know, if I max this thing out, it's gonna be better than Hollywood. You know, and that kind of hurts me a little bit because Hollywood is like my favorite legendary and all. But yo, it's respectable. It's respectable. It's my best American car. All right, next up is the Project 8. We're putting the Project 8 in a category of its own. It's just such a disappointment. Okay, now let me do the hot garbage ones. Okay, because that's no surprise, right? The Nardo and the Skigera. The Nardo and Skigera, they're hot garbage, but everybody knows that. You know, they're so bad that I've never used them. They're stock. The only time I really use them is, oh, sorry, one more hot garbage actually is the Honor Dier. Those three hot garbage. Okay, those three is kind of like, I kind of want to put the Honor Dier with the Project 8, but I can't do that because the Project 8 needs a little category of its own, okay? But like those three cars are def hot garbage because, you know, at least this is for the case. All right, we'll take out the Honor Dier for a second, so this makes sense, all right? At least the Nardo and the Skigera know that they're hot garbage, okay? They know that they're hot garbage. They have the stats of an RQ80, but they are RQ80s after all. The Project 8 though, the Project 8 has the stats of an RQ80, but for some reason he thinks that he's an RQ90. No, Project 8, you're not an RQ90. You're nowhere near an RQ90. You would be a good 85 and a good 84, but you're nowhere close to an RQ90. You suck, and you have no MRA. You have 76 handling, and you are a saloon car, and you will always be overshadowed by the Alfa Romeo Pro car. And if there's any rain, it's gonna be overshadowed by the BMW M5 Delimited. It's trash, dude. Project 8 is trash. I hate it so much. If it, like I said, man, if it was RQ85, 84, then yeah, it'd be alright. But RQ90. No. Honor Dier is hot garbage as well, okay? Because no. Look at the stats. Compare the stats to the Project 8. It's literally the same. Alright, the Honor Dier should be like 85, okay? Because when I was thinking about it, you know, Honor Dier has a W16, should have like 100 MRA. No. It has 89 MRA. That was the biggest disappointment ever. The Honor Dier is hot garbage. It sucks. Next up is the Corvette. Wyatt, look away. Wyatt, look away, because it ain't it, man. It ain't it. I don't use it a lot, you know. It's not even in my A-team for my USA hand. My USA hand A-team is literally what? The GTSR, the Demon, the TA, Bollywood, and Hollywood. It's just all Dodge. And if I needed to go lower in RQ, I wouldn't be using the Corvette, because I would be using another Corvette. I'll be using like a Z06 or a Grand Sport. Because, you know, 94 handling, that's weak. That is mad weak, okay? Like, I'd rather use the Epics to get 98 handling or 99 handling in the Grand Sport. Now, I know. If I max out that Corvette, it would be a lot higher. But that's the same for every other car that I have in the lower ranks. If I max them out, they would be higher because they would be better cars. But I'm judging them as they are in my garage. And I gotta say, man, I barely use that Corvette. I'm sorry, Wyatt, if you're watching. I apologize, but I never use it. Next up is the 1-1, the Aston Mario 1-1. I see you. It's respectable. Okay? Now, this one, that's the opposite of the Honor Dier. That's the opposite of a Project 8, okay? This is a car that knows its worth, but also goes beyond that, okay? Because this thing has an MRA out of hell, all right? 110 or whatever it is, like 105, like 100 plus, okay? The 1-1 has some MRA. And although the 0 to 60 is weak, it has decent handling. It's the best handling Aston Martin. It handles better than the Honor Dier. It has a higher top speed than the Honor Dier, and it has better MRA than the Honor Dier. This is a car that is humble, okay? I feel like it should be an 88 or an 89, but it's an 87, you know? It's humble. Unlike the Honor Dier or the Project 8, they think they're a 92, they think they're a 90, but let's be honest, they're an 85 or an 84, okay? The 1-1, I respect that car. I want to max it out one day too. And it's also my favorite Aston Martin of all time, besides the DBS Superleggera and the DB5. But still, okay, I see you. You're definitely not respectable category, and you're not number one, but I see you. You got the potential. All right, next up is the Peugeot. All right, I'll put it sus. Okay, I feel like I should put it in I see you, but like I'm gonna put it in sus just because it hasn't won me anything. You know, I don't have it stock anymore. I know in the screenshot it's stock, but I recently one started it. So far, it's kind of held its own in clubs when there's French requirements and road less taken. But besides that, I haven't used it anywhere else. It hasn't won me a carbon fiber. It hasn't proved its worth in the multiplayer events. One day it will have its time to shine, and when it has its time to shine, I will move it up the ranks. But for now, it kind of sus. All right, next up is the Demon. On God. On God, number one, my number one. This thing. You know, I was talking about the 1-1 being humble. No, the Demon is the most humble out of it. All right, it's 86, but I feel like it performs like an 88. I'm not joking. At the same time, okay, take that with a little bit of salt, because if that Demon was 1 star, I would probably put it in you kind of sus. But I maxed mine out, okay? I'm judging it as a max Demon. And as a max Demon, that thing kicks ass, okay? It beats a max Banana. You know? The car that has 11 more handling, 99. And beats a max Banana, not on a drag, on a twisty circuit. That's right. Beat a twisty car on its home track, in its own game. Demon's good, man. Demon's damn good, all right? It's a dark horse. Everybody thinks that the Demon is only good for the quarter mile. Well, guess what? I deployed that car on the hairpin and the twisty circuit and the half mile, and it holds its own, man. It beats out a maxed out McLaren 12C on the 1 mile and the half. I don't think it beats it on the 1 mile, but it beats it on the half mile and the quarter, I mean. It's a good car. I use it all the time, and it has a surprisingly high win ratio, okay? It has like, my Demon is like 96% win ratio, and it has like 6,000 races, okay? Like, the Demon is a beast. All right, next up is a TVR. It's hot garbage. Sometimes I even forget that I want it. It came out this year. You know what? Yeah, what's with the prize cars that came out this year? Yeah, I start winning prize cars like crazy, and you give me like the trash ones like the Uno DR and the TVR. I mean, I can't complain. The Pro Car and the 1-1, those some good wins, okay? But I wish I won that SLS GT3 over the TVR and the Uno DR. If I could trade 2 for 1, get the SLS and kick out the TVR and the Uno DR, I would do it, to be fair, because at least I'll get some use out of that SLS. All right, next up. Oh, this one interesting. It's the Porsche Gt1 Road Car. Nobody has this prize car. This is like the unicorn. This is like the TVR before the TVR had a rerun, okay? I'm putting it in kind of sus because, yeah, it's trash. You know, the stats are trash, but this thing has won me a lot. Because I've been needing to use it a lot. German 90s events, there's one going on right now where you can win a carbon. This thing has won me a lot. It has won me multiple prelims and qualifier carbons, you know, top 10 finishes. It has won me multiple carbons from carbon fiber events. It has won me ceramics. This thing I use surprisingly quite a bit. Because, you know, it's a very niche category that it's in, and it's one of the best cars that it's in, you know, especially if there's rain and you can't use a 917, 962 or the 911 GT1 race car. That thing's good. I mean, it's not good, like, it's not an amazing car, but like, it wins me stuff. So because of that, yeah, it kind of sus. But I ain't gonna call it hot garbage. But talking about hot garbage though, the BMW M4 GTS. Yeah, I forget that I have this in my garage, to be fair. Why is it in my... I don't know, man. I don't know. But last but not least is the Chiron Sport. Number one. Alright, so that's it. That's my list. I want to see if I want to do any changes, because it looks like I've been pretty lenient. You know, I got a lot of number ones. I feel like number one should be a little bit more curated, but now I'm looking at the list, you know, PP, Senna, Revolution... I can't change that. I can't change any of it. Those things are amazing. They're gonna stay that way. All right, they're gonna stay that way. Chief, this ain't it. I'm happy with how it looks like. Sus, I'm happy with how it looks like. Honestly, the Aventador Svj, I might even move it down here because I don't even use the Aventador J at all. Like, I seriously don't. Like, I can't do that. It handles like trash, but you know. I can't do that. I'll put it in sus. I'll keep it in sus. But yeah, I'm happy with this list. Man. Let me know if you guys agree. But definitely hot garbage. That ain't looking good. That Uno DR. I feel like, you know what? The question is the Uno DR more of a disappointment than the Project 8? I don't know. Maybe one day I'll change this Project 8 to Uno DR and put this in the bottom and the Project 8 hot garbage. But for now, we'll put the Project 8 in there because the Project 8 has disappointed me many times. The Uno DR is new, you know, so it hasn't disappointed me yet. The on paper stats in the MRI disappoints me, but like I want to put it in an event and I want to see how it performs. Because if it ends up being like a super niche car that wins me a lot, I might move it up to nah man you sus, because then it'll be in the same position as the 911 GT1 Road Car. But only time will tell. But that's gonna be it, guys. That's my tier list. If you want to go judge my prize cars for some reason, you want to judge my prize cars as well, I will have a link in the description below to this tier list, and also my account where you can check out my older tier lists. I had one for epics and American dream cars as well, so those are pretty fun. But anyway, hope you guys are great. Remember, stay safe, wash your hands, and blossom out. Peace.